maybe you're watching this and you're not in year 11, but it doesn't matter. But I just wanted to check in really because today's the first day where school is on, but school is off. Some of you might have been to school today. Very few of you. I'd say about 10% of people will have actually gone to school today. But I wanted just to check in because this is a funny year, and I want to see how you're doing. So, any comments, any questions in the in the chat down here, and we can answer them. But if you're in year 11 right now, then it's going to be pretty weird. It's going to be feeling pretty strange because you're not preparing for exams. But I strongly recommend that you still do some learning because you will benefit from some kind of sense of normality. And I would suggest that you use this time to look forward to whatever's coming next year, and you start to really specialize into those things, and you get interested and you get excited about your learning next year. So maybe you're going to do physics next year, in which case then you're in the right place, you're in Gorilla Physics, and maybe that's the, maybe looking forward to some A-level study is the thing that you should be doing. So many teachers out there are putting out so many cool resources right now. It's quite a nice period for them because they can get into the digital kind of learning. I've got loads going on. I'm going to make some new videos and everything like that. But if you're in year 11, all of a sudden, the specifications don't matter to you so much, but learning still does. And it was never really about the exams anyway. I know that it can kind of feel like that. And possibly the weirdest thing is that you've been told since year 7 that this year 11 is coming and GCSEs are the most important thing, and wow, there's all this pressure, and then suddenly just like that it's gone. All that pressure's gone, but that's not really what schools have been saying to you. So I'm really interested to know what your school is saying to you. What has your school been setting you work? Has your school been in contact to check that you're all right? How's it gone today? Has it been logged on? has everything, all the websites been okay to log on to? Or are they absolutely rammed and they're all crashing because everyone's trying to log on at the same time? Tell me about your day. Tell me what's going on. Tell me how you're feeling about this whole thing as well. But remember, it wasn't really about these exams. But I know as well that there's been all this uncertainty around how those grades are going to be given, and I want to sort of tell you what information I know as well. So that's coming up. As I said at the start, I think that having a sense of normality, even if you're not doing exams, doing some lessons. But what kind of thing are they setting you? Somebody in the chat has said down here, I'm doing online lessons. Are your schools still setting you GCSE lessons? Or are you still doing stuff to do with specification, or are they just sending you some interesting things? I think actually it's an opportunity. The pressure's way off. Let's just teach each other stuff. Let's let your teachers just teach stuff that they find interesting. But if you are going forward into A-level, then do take this time now to really get to grips with some of the fundamentals and some of the interesting stuff that's coming up with your A-levels. What have you picked and what are you going to go on for? I want to ask you what's going to happen if you're retaking GCSE at college and you want to sit an exam in September. Should you pay? And if school reopens, are you going to start A-levels late? So no, that's what I'm kind of getting at right now, Najma, is that actually we can kind of start A-levels now. So you can go ahead and look at some of my A-level stuff. I'm going to be doing some teaching for my year 12s and for my year 10s as well. So if you want to start the A-level stuff, then why not just consider yourself now to be an A-level student? Obviously, if you're not doing physics for A-level, then maybe look out for channels that focus on those A-levels. But I would use the time now to actually see this as the start of your A-level. I do have a book, and you can get this on ebook or anything like that, which is called Prepare for the Challenge of A-Level Physics. I'm not doing this video just to plug this, but actually that is designed as a kind of summer bridge from GCSE into A-level. And there's loads of practicals, experiments you can do on your own at home in that book, and other study kind of things. And really I've tried to say in here exactly why you should be interested, why you should be excited, why you should be looking forward to A-levels. So this is my message really today, really, is yes, exams aren't going to happen, but learning should still happen. And it's not been about the exams, it's actually about learning. The most important thing really that we do in school is not the exams, it's the learning and it's the enjoyment. And if you've got a GCSE in physics, which you will have, you'll get that qualification, then you're already one of the people who knows most about physics in the country. So that's fantastic. So talk about exams now, and then I'll have a little dip into the chat and see what's what, see what everyone's, people asking that, have they set me, my school set me just to carry on revising, like it's like that announcement didn't even happen. I think just go ahead and look for your A-levels, think about what lessons you're doing for A-levels and start that. Or if you're not even sure what you're going to want to do for A-levels, maybe you're picking 3 out of 5 subjects you want to do, then why don't you just like take the time to look at all of those 5 A-levels then? You've got time. And I know this is really hard and it's not the loveliest message, but like see opportunity in this. Like you've been given some time. The government's decided to take pressure off you to give you a bit of time. And it's a horrible situation for everybody. It's not what we wanted. And you know, my thing about year 11, I've been so impressed, is that you all really wanted to do these exams, didn't you? But you've been given some time. Use it wisely. Don't just think to yourself, oh, great time to play the PlayStation, you know, because you can do that any other time and you'll still have time to do that in the evening. But use the daytime. Get up early, get up, do a school day, do some learning, you know, and the pressure's off. Enjoy learning. Become fascinated. I can imagine next year's year 12 being way ahead of the current year 12 because they've had a bit of time to get started and become fascinated. Yeah, so I want to talk about those grades because they are important to you. And remember, the government said that you'll get the grades that you need, and they put out a little bit more detail to us as school teachers. I would say it was an email designed to clarify things, and I don't think it really did that for us necessarily. But essentially, what's going to happen next is that your school is going to assign you a grade, a teacher judgment. Now, that's no different. I don't think the schools are going to do that any different to they do every single year, where we submit predictions. We submit predictions into the exam board and we say, this is what we think these kids are going to get. And that is the moderation that's going to happen, right? The moderation that's going to happen most likely will be that they will look at what predictions have been given versus the results that they've got in previous years. So the exam boards will be able to look back over previous years' predictions versus outcomes. And let's say your school always predicts like way above what actually happens, well, they might want to look a bit more closely about those grades that school is awarding. But if your school is someone who's like always spot on, the predictions they give are pretty much accurate to the results that they get, then they'll probably just wave those results through. So there's a little bit of a difficulty there for your school awarding those grades. However, you don't need to worry about that. That is not you that's going to be penalised for that. It is the school that's going to have to get that right. So there really is there's nothing you can do about this right now, except for if you don't get the grade that you want based on the teacher prediction, then if you don't get the grade you want based on that teacher prediction, then you can appeal it. Although that would just be looking at the processes that have gone into that prediction, or you can resit early next year. So probably a November exam series early next year, and you can actually sit and get the right grade. Now, if you are worried about that, then I suggest you probably still keep revising, but I don't think that you should worry about that at all. I think you should take the pressure off yourself and remember that your teachers will give you a fair and they will give you a positive grade. They will give you what they expect you to do based on the fact that you would have been working through these next months. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would just allow that to happen. Don't stress about it now. Your teachers will give you grades based on what you've done over the years, and that is including your mock exams, including classwork, and we might be asked to give examples of a student that is going to get a grade 9 and we'd send their paper. A student that is going to get a grade 5 and we'd send their paper. So that moderation process will happen and you won't need to be a part of that. It's a difficult one, it is a difficult one, but I would expect that the grades for this year will be higher on average than any other year. So I would expect to be treated positively, be given the benefit of the doubt. For example, most of the time in my predictions, I'm pretty accurate as to what they actually get. So, you know, I would expect to be giving a positive grade based on my experience with the kid. I would say, well, I'm not going to be thinking, they might get a 7, they might get an 8. I will be putting them down for that 8. But we have to see what that process is going to look like, and it's not going to be clear for you guys, I'm afraid. Okay, I hope that helps anyway. I know that saying it's not going to be very clear is really, really difficult. But yeah, they will take, yeah, exactly, yeah, Abu said they will take SATs in consideration when deciding the grade. Not that you will be based on that, but they will say, right, so someone who got a, I don't know what score in SATs, like let's say they got a medium-ish grade in SATs, and then the school's saying they're going to go ahead and get a grade 9, well, that might be true. That might be exactly what they got. Might be exactly what they were going to get. So the school should be able to award and the kids should be able to get that grade 9. But let's say on average, a whole school, a whole cohort was predicting that they were going to go way ahead of any other year group they've ever had and any other and that year group that were like really weak in their SATs 5 years ago, and there's suddenly absolutely amazing grades in GCSE. Well, that doesn't seem to be a reality, does it? So the exam board would look more closely at that school. So it's not kind of for you to, nothing you can do about that. It's just about what the kind of patterns are. The moderation they'll do will be about patterns of data on a large kind of scale, rather than as an individual looking very closely at your kind of grade. The thing that is the case is that schools, there will be no league tables this year. So schools aren't going to be worried about the grades they're going to give. They're just going to give the grades. Every year after the exams come out, we look very carefully and we think, oh, how did we do as a school? How did all the kids do? And there's a big stress about comparing one school with another, but that won't happen this year. So there's that kind of, there's not going to be that issue around schools worrying about what grades they're going to give for like how good they look. So I think the exam board will be quite trusting in that kind of way. Right, I'm going to have a little look at the chat. I am going to come back to do a similar kind of live feed for Dear Year 13. I'm just looking into the kind of thing here. Some people say, I'm waiting to hear back from motorsport engineering apprenticeship. I've already picked some A-levels. Cool, which A-levels you picked? Who's there? Not said anything about IGCSE exams. No, they haven't, but I imagine the process will be just the same. Those people doing those people that, like private candidates who are being part of a school, then I suggest you get in contact with your centre that you were going to sit the exams in as soon as possible, but they haven't really said anything about that. I imagine, unfortunately, that those people are going to have to sit at November 1 because they won't have any work to do that teacher assessment with. I don't know when you'll get your results. I would imagine it will be the same. They'll be aiming to do the same date, but it might be later. The date is normally the last Thursday of the summer holiday, or the second from last Thursday of the summer holiday, sort of mid-August. How much would SATs matter in the final grade? Well, okay, so we've got to understand, we have two bits of data on students. We have the bit where they come in and the bit where they leave the school. They are the hard and fast kind of externally moderated public exams, we call them, big exams that loads of people sit, and that's a good data point. It's a reliable data point. So we're always judged on our SATs grades and how much progress we had. So essentially the reason why they're going to use the SATs is because if let's say a school always comes out on average a progress of 0, which means the kids do as well as they should, and then we put in all these predicted grades, and those are accepted as GCSE grades, but that would look like a progress of +2. So like every kid did 2 grades better than they kind of should on average do. That would flag up some kind of concerns with the exam board probably, and they'd look into that. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But this is my message for you guys right now, is if you're in year 11 right now, yes, it's uncertain, but you've been given a bit of time. Look forward to your A-levels, because studying A-levels is different. It's amazing. It's when you start to feel like an adult in school. You're treated very, very different. You get to choose. You get to become this kind of specialized person. I will be making A-level videos. Absolutely, I do. I've got the whole thing set up, and I'm making videos today as well. I just thought I'd dump in a little live feed for you guys as well. Got this book for Prepare the Challenge for A-level physics. But read whatever you want. Take some time to get into your own things, like get into your own hobbies. Like I'm picking up this book. This is High Challenge, Low Threat. This is about school leadership. Like this is a bad situation, but because you've been given some time and you've been told basically you need to stay at home, then get in touch with those hobbies again and start to enjoy that and expand your horizons into what the things are that you're going to do in A-level. Get excited for the A-levels that's coming next. The A-level, the videos I do will be for all exam boards, and I will do some for AQA, although I don't teach AQA, I will make some that are relevant to AQA. Okay, I'm going to go now, but I am back for year 13 thing, so if you wanted to jump onto that chat, you're very, very welcome to do so. See you later. Have a good day.